Could this be the one overdrive that doesn't sound like any other overdrive and therefore convince a pedal skeptic like me? Let's check it out. What's up everyone? So the song you just heard was all played with the Carbon V2 you're seeing right here, the rhythm tracks and the solo also. Now, those of you who have been following me a little bit longer and maybe are following on Instagram too know I'm not a gear channel. In fact, I usually don't talk a lot about pedals in general. But the thing is, I played the Carbon V2 and it made a difference because it actually made not a huge difference to my sound, which I find is the most valuable aspect of an overdrive pedal. And the other aspect is the V2 now features a toggle that lets you high cut the signal. I'm gonna go over this feature in a second, but it's a really useful feature just because these blues breaker type overdrives tend to get brighter and brighter the more you turn the gain up. With the high cut you can now tame this, but let's get into the sounds right now. So this is the bass tone I usually start out with. Like an AC/DC crunch kind of sound, right? That's usually what I go for to start with. And now with the Carbon and the gain on like 11 o'clock, let's just say, sounds like this. And here you can already hear that it's not that much of a difference tone-wise. Here's my sound without the Carbon again. And with the Carbon. It's really subtle, it just makes the sound bigger and a little bit better too. Now, if we turn up the gain even more to maybe like a little bit past 12 o'clock here, it starts to sound like this. That's where it gets really saturated and you can go into lead territory. Let me turn on some delay and reverb here and this is what it sounds like. So, as you can hear, really cool saturated kind of lead sound already, but it's also still tight enough to play cool rhythms. But now that's also where the toggle switch comes into play, because as you can hear, the gain is now on the higher side of this pedal. Like it's really saturated. Pretty high gain actually already, and you can hear the tone gets brighter and brighter. Here again was my bass sound, and now in terms of brightness we're here. So it kind of gets a little bit too trebly for my taste at least. And that's where the toggle switch comes in so handy, because if the toggle switch is in the middle, that's your classic Browne Carbon setting. That's pretty much what is in the V1. But if you turn it to the left now, you get this subtle high cut. Sounds like this. Here's it in the middle again. Here's it high cut again. So that's a really subtle difference, but there is a difference. If you turn the toggle switch to the right, that's where the high cut gets even more significant. It's way more obvious. Compared to the original setting. It becomes even more obvious when we turn the gain up even more. So let's say 3 o'clock here, this is the original setting. Now if we high cut the signal at least a little bit, hopefully that's audible with all the YouTube compression going on, but in here it's definitely a difference, it's less harsh compared to, and we can cut it even more. Would also be really cool to tame a really harsh or trebly kind of guitar. Now I usually have the high cut on the left side because the subtle high cut is good enough for me. But what's so cool about this setting with the gain at 3 o'clock is that is actually the setting that I recorded the song with that you heard in the beginning. And with this setting, the Carbon really goes into full lead mode. You can hear it. Here's the thing, it really doesn't sound like a pedal. My usual problem with these kinds of pedal is they put some sort of a coating over the sound. I can't really describe it any other way. It's usually in the mid-range that something weird happens that just seems like the mid-range is kind of coated or like crowded, or it just never sounds like the actual amp would sound. And with the Carbon, I'm hearing so much less of that mid-range coating, if you will. So for me, this is one of these rare exceptions where an overdrive really stands out and actually doesn't sound like any other overdrive by sounding not like an overdrive pedal. Is that weird? Anyway, here are a couple more sounds for you.